When was the last time you felt truly light and free, without worry weighing on your chest? Most of us keep waiting for life to be perfect before we allow ourselves to feel peace, but that perfect day never comes. Buddhism teaches us that peace isn't hidden in the future. It's here, in this very moment, waiting for us to return. If you're tired of living in your head, tired of feeling trapped by constant worries, then stay with me, because these lessons will awaken a gentle freedom within you, a freedom your heart has been longing for. Lesson 1. The present moment, your only safe place. Have you ever noticed how your mind keeps dragging you away from this moment? Even when you're sitting in silence, sipping your coffee or watching the evening sky, there's a restless voice inside planning tomorrow, regretting yesterday, worrying about what might go wrong. But let me ask you, where are those worries happening? Are they happening here, in front of you, or only in your mind? Buddhism teaches us a simple but life-changing truth. Real peace can only exist in the present moment. The past is gone, it lives only in fading memories, and no matter how often you revisit it, you cannot change a single word spoken or a single step taken. And the future? It doesn't exist yet. It is built entirely from imagination. The what-ifs, the maybes, the endless scenarios your mind creates to feel prepared, yet all they really create is anxiety. Think about it. Worry feeds on imagination. It grows stronger the more you think about things that aren't even happening right now. Your mind builds these worst-case scenarios out of thin air, and your body begins to react as if they're real. Your heart races, your chest tightens, your breath becomes shallow. But if you pause and truly look around, what is actually happening in this moment? You're sitting here, listening, breathing, completely safe. The present moment is not just a concept. It is your only real refuge. When you bring your awareness back to your breath, feeling it rise and fall gently, or notice the ground beneath your feet or the sounds around you, something shifts within. Your nervous system calms down, your mind slows, and you return to reality. And in this reality, in this very moment, there is no threat, there is only peace. Your mind may still try to pull you back into worry. It may whisper, "But what about tomorrow? What if everything goes wrong?" In those moments, speak to yourself gently. Say, "Right now, I am safe. Right now, I am breathing." And that is enough. The more you practice this, the easier it becomes. You begin to realize that life is not lived in your fears of tomorrow or regrets of yesterday. Life is happening now, in this very breath, in this very heartbeat. And here is a truth to carry with you today. You were never meant to live in fear of the future. You are always meant to live in the freedom of now. Because only here, in this quiet present moment, do you find what you've been searching for all along. A peace that no worry can steal, and no fear can shake. Lesson 2. Acceptance, permission to breathe, not giving up. Have you ever felt like life keeps pushing against you, no matter how hard you try to push it back? We often believe that acceptance is the same as giving up, that if we accept a situation it means we've failed or stopped caring. But Buddhism teaches something far deeper. Acceptance isn't weakness. It is not surrendering to helplessness. It is giving yourself the permission to finally breathe. Think about it. How much of your suffering comes from resisting what is happening, rather than the situation itself? A relationship ends, and instead of grieving, you fight reality with questions. Why did this happen? How could I have stopped it? Is there still a chance to fix it? A plan falls apart, and you keep replaying every detail, hoping that somehow your mind can change what already happened. But in all this resistance, in this silent war against reality, you exhaust yourself. Acceptance is different. It is the moment you unclench your fists and whisper to yourself, "This is what's happening right now." It doesn't mean you like it. It doesn't mean you choose it. It simply means you stop pretending it isn't real. You stop pouring your energy into wishing life were different in this moment when it is not. And when you do this, something shifts inside you. The tightness begins to loosen. Your chest feels lighter. Your mind no longer spins with fear. You begin to breathe again. Acceptance creates space. Space for healing, for wise action, for clarity, and for rest. Because when you stop needing life to go your way before you can be at peace, you discover a hidden strength within you. Peace doesn't come because everything aligns with your plans. Peace comes when you no longer require it to. Imagine standing in a river. If you keep trying to fight the current, you tire yourself, struggling against what you cannot control. But when you stop fighting and begin to walk with the flow, you move with grace and quiet strength. Life is the same. You are never meant to win against life. You are meant to walk with it, to trust its deeper currents, and to find peace in your steps. So today, give yourself this permission to breathe. Let go of the exhausting need to control everything. Accept what is, not because you are giving up, but because you are ready to live with a calm strength that can carry you forward, no matter what comes next. Lesson 3. Not every thought deserves your attention. Have you ever noticed how your mind never stops talking? From the moment you wake up, thoughts rush in. What needs to be done today? What went wrong yesterday? What if things don't work out tomorrow? It feels endless. But Buddhism teaches us something deeply freeing. You are not your thoughts. They come and go like clouds drifting across the sky. Some are bright and harmless, others dark and heavy, but none of them define the sky itself in the same way. Your thoughts do not define you. The problem is that worry thrives on thoughts we never pause to question. A single idea whispers, "What if everything falls apart?" And before you know it, you're trapped in an entire story your mind has created. Your body tenses, your breath shortens, your heart races, not because of what is happening now, but because of something that only exists in your mind. Here's the truth: not every thought deserves your attention, and very few deserve your belief. When you realize that thoughts are simply mental events, temporary and shifting, you begin to find freedom. The next time a fearful thought arises, pause for a moment, take a breath, and say to yourself, "This is just a thought. It is not a fact. I don't have to believe it." Mindfulness isn't about forcing your mind to be silent. It's about observing your thoughts without getting pulled into their stories. When you watch them like clouds, noticing them, letting them pass, you create space within yourself. In that space, you find a quiet clarity. You're no longer reacting to every thought as if it's the truth. You're simply aware, grounded in the moment. And this is where true freedom lives. Not in silencing your mind completely, but in no longer obeying every fear it creates. When you begin to live like this, your thoughts will still come and go, but they lose their power to control you. You remain rooted in the calm, open sky of your awareness, untouched by the passing clouds. Lesson 4. Impermanence. Your fear cannot last forever. Think about a time in your life when you felt completely lost. Maybe it was a heartbreak that shook your entire world. Maybe it was the anxiety of not knowing what your future held. In those moments, it felt like the pain would last forever. But here you are today, breathing, living, moving forward. That alone reveals a powerful truth. Everything changes. Nothing stays the same forever. Not even your deepest fear. Buddhism teaches that impermanence is the nature of all things. Emotions come and go like waves in the ocean. Fear rises, peaks, and eventually fades. But when we're caught in fear, it feels permanent. Your chest tightens, your mind races with worst-case scenarios, and it feels like there's no end in sight. Yet, if you look back at your life, every storm you thought would destroy you eventually passed, and you're still here, stronger for it. The next time anxiety grips you, try this simple practice. Place your hand gently on your heart, feel its steady beat, and whisper to yourself, "This is only a moment. It will pass." These words aren't empty comfort. They're a reminder of reality. No feeling, no matter how intense, stays forever. Even the darkest night gives way to dawn. Even the fiercest storm eventually quiets. When you trust in impermanence, something changes inside you. Fear loses its grip because you know it's only visiting. It's not here to stay. You stop fighting your emotions or feeling desperate to escape them. Instead, you allow them to be. knowing they will move through you and leave, just as countless others have before. This understanding unlocks a calm within you that no external storm can shake, because you begin to realize that while emotions come and go, there is a deeper part of you that remains steady and untouched. And it is from this place of quiet knowing that you can face any wave of fear, not with panic, but with trust. Trust in yourself, and trust in the changing nature of life. Lesson 5. Let go of control. It was never yours to carry. How many nights have you spent wide awake, replaying conversations you can't change, or worrying about things that haven't even happened? We carry this quiet belief that if we think hard enough, plan far enough, or worry long enough, we can control everything around us. But what has this belief really given you? Peace or exhaustion? Buddhism teaches us that trying to control everything builds anxiety, not peace. We imagine that if we can just keep every detail in place, we will finally feel safe. But life isn't meant to be tightly held in your fists. It flows like a river, shifting and moving in ways that aren't always visible to you. And the harder you try to control the flow, the more tired, fearful, and disconnected you become. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means acting with presence and intention while releasing your grip on the outcome. It means showing up fully, giving your best, and then trusting life to unfold as it needs to. Ask yourself, am I doing my part with care? If the answer is yes, then let that be enough. Let life breathe. Let people be who they are. Let the future remain open instead of forcing it to match your plans. This is where true freedom lives. The freedom that comes from letting go isn't about floating above life, detached and untouched. It's about sinking deeper into life with clarity, love, and trust. It's knowing that you don't need to hold everything together to be okay. You only need to return to yourself, to act with kindness and wisdom, and to trust the greater flow. Imagine the relief your heart will feel when it no longer carries the burden of controlling what was never yours to control. You will begin to walk lighter, breathe deeper, and respond to each moment with a calm openness. And in that gentle surrender, you will find a peace that no amount of worry has ever given you. The peace of finally letting life unfold with its own quiet intelligence, while you remain rooted in presence and love. Lesson 6. Speak kindly to your inner voice of worry. Have you ever paid close attention to the voice that whispers inside your mind throughout the day? That voice that questions every decision you make, that fills your head with doubts and fears, that constantly asks, what if this goes wrong? What if you're not ready? What if you fail? For many of us, this voice feels like an enemy, a cruel critic that never lets us rest in peace. But Buddhism teaches us to look deeper, to understand that this voice isn't here to harm us. It believes it is protecting us. Imagine for a moment a small child standing alone in the dark, trembling with fear. They don't know what's around them, and their little heart beats quickly with panic. Would you yell at this child to be quiet? Would you scold them for being afraid? No. You would kneel down, open your arms, and hold them close. You would whisper softly, "It's okay. I'm here. You're safe with me." Your inner voice of worry is exactly like that frightened child. It doesn't want to destroy your peace. It doesn't want to keep you trapped forever. It simply doesn't understand the world fully. It tries to prepare you for every possible danger, thinking that if you're ready for pain, it can somehow protect you from experiencing it. But instead of protection, this constant worrying keeps you in a state of fear and tension. It robs you of the beauty of the present moment. What if, instead of fighting this voice, you began to listen to it with compassion? What if you treated it as you would treat that scared child? The next time worry rises within you, pause for a moment. Feel your feet on the ground. Place your hand gently over your heart. Take a slow, deep breath and say softly to yourself, "I hear you. I know you're afraid, but we are okay right now. Let's breathe and take one step at a time." Notice how different this feels. You're not dismissing your fear. You're not pushing it away or silencing it with force. You're acknowledging it with kindness, with understanding, with a loving strength that calms rather than controls. You see, for most of us, our inner voice of worry becomes loud not because it is strong, but because it feels ignored and unseen. It feels like no one is listening, so it screams louder and louder to protect you. But when you finally turn towards it with gentleness, when you say, "Thank you for trying to keep me safe, but we are okay right now," it begins to soften. It starts to trust you. The voice realizes it no longer needs to scream for your attention because it knows you are listening with care. This is what true strength looks like, not forcing yourself to ignore fear, not pretending it isn't there, but sitting beside it without running away. Imagine how different your life could feel if you created this kind of safety within yourself, a place where your worries are met with understanding rather than judgment, a place where you no longer live in a silent battle with your mind. Because when you treat your inner worries with compassion, you stop being at war with yourself. You create a quiet peace within, a peace that no external situation can shake. Your mind becomes a softer place to live. Your heart begins to open again, no longer tight with tension, but wide with gentle courage. And in this space, something beautiful happens. You realize you don't need to fight yourself to grow. You don't need to silence every fear to move forward. You only need to hold yourself through it, with the same kindness you would offer a frightened child. That is the deepest form of strength, the kind that remains calm in the face of fear, not because fear is gone, but because you trust yourself to walk through it with wisdom, love, and an unshakable inner peace. Lesson 7. Joy is a practice, not a reward for perfection. When was the last time you truly allowed yourself to feel happy? Not the quick rush of excitement when something goes your way, but a deep, quiet happiness that fills your entire being. Many people spend their whole lives believing that happiness is something to be earned. They think, "I'll be happy when everything is finally in order. When I finish this work, when I get that promotion, when my relationship is perfect, when I fix all the problems in my life." But Buddhism teaches us a different truth. Joy is not something you receive as a reward for fixing life. It is a daily practice, a conscious decision to notice the small, quiet beauty that exists all around you, right here, right now. Because life will never be perfect. There will always be something unfinished, something uncertain, something not quite right. If you wait for everything to align before you allow yourself happiness, you will spend your entire life waiting. Think about it. There are moments every single day that hold the seeds of joy. Feeling the gentle warmth of sunlight on your skin as you walk outside, hearing the soft rustle of leaves moving in the breeze, taking a sip of tea in the quiet morning hours before the world wakes up, feeling your chest rise and fall with each breath, knowing that in this moment, you are alive. But here's the challenge. Your mind has been trained to search for problems, to analyze what is missing, to prepare for what might go wrong. It tells you that happiness will come later, when everything is finally perfect. So even when beauty is right in front of you, you can't see it, because your mind is too busy chasing what it thinks is missing. What if you started to train your mind differently? What if you began to teach it to notice the good, even amidst the messiness of life? To soften even when things feel hard? To feel grateful even when not everything is going your way? Try this simple practice today. Pause for a moment and look around you. Find one small thing to appreciate. Maybe it's the way light falls on your desk. Maybe it's the quiet strength in your own breath. Maybe it's the way your body continues to carry you despite how tired you feel. Allow yourself to feel that gratitude fully, even if just for a breath. Because in that moment, you are practicing joy. You are no longer waiting for happiness to arrive someday in the distant future. You are choosing it, right here, in the imperfection of now. The more you practice this, the more your mind begins to change. It starts to realize that happiness is not about getting everything right. It's about being present with what is. It's about opening your eyes to the truth that life doesn't have to be perfect to be beautiful. Think about the people you love most deeply. Do you love them because they are perfect? Or do you love them because of their realness, their flaws, their humanness? In the same way, your life doesn't need to be flawless for you to love it deeply. It only needs your presence, your attention, your gratitude. Over time, as you keep practicing joy in this quiet, gentle way, something beautiful happens. The heavy grip of worry begins to loosen. You no longer live only in your fears of what might go wrong. You begin to live in the fullness of what is going right. Your mind, once consumed by thoughts of lack and imperfection, starts to soften and open. You begin to see that beauty was always here, waiting for you to notice it. And in that noticing, you reclaim your power. You realize that happiness was never far away. It didn't live in your achievements or your future plans. It lived here, in the warmth of sunlight, in a sip of tea, in the quiet beating of your heart. It lived in every moment you pause to breathe and say, "This is enough." To remember this, joy is not a prize you earn after fixing everything in your life. It is a practice, a daily choice, a gentle return to what is already here. And when you begin to live with this understanding, you free yourself from the endless chase for perfection. You start to see that life, in all its messiness and beauty, was always worthy of your love and your gratitude. Happiness was never far away. It was simply waiting for you to stop chasing it and finally start noticing it. Bonus lesson: the quiet power of allowing life to unfold. Have you noticed how hard we try to force life into our plans? We create visions of how things should be, our careers, relationships, health, and every tiny detail of our day. And when reality doesn't match those plans, we feel frustrated, anxious, or defeated. But Buddhism teaches us a gentle wisdom. There is a quiet power in allowing life to unfold, rather than forcing it into shape. Think of a river flowing down a mountain. It doesn't argue with the rocks in its path. It doesn't try to move the mountain or complain about its obstacles. It simply finds its way around them, patiently, gracefully, trusting that every twist and turn is part of its journey to the ocean. What if you lived your life like this, with more trust and less force? Forcing life to fit your ideas only creates suffering. You push, you pull, you resist, and all the while you miss the beauty of what is. Allowing doesn't mean you stop dreaming or taking action. It means you act with intention, but without the tight grip of control. It means you trust that life has its own wisdom, and sometimes the things that don't go your way are guiding you to exactly where you need to be. But use this today. When something feels stuck, instead of forcing a solution, take a step back. Breathe deeply. Ask yourself, what would happen if I allowed this to unfold in its own time? Notice the tension leaving your shoulders as you release the need to control every outcome. Notice how your mind softens when you replace force with trust. Allowing life to unfold doesn't make you passive, it makes you wise. It helps you see opportunities you would miss if you were too busy pushing. It creates space within you. Space for peace, for creativity, for deeper understanding. Because in the end, the most beautiful parts of life are rarely the ones we force into place. They are the ones that bloom naturally, when we give them the space and time to become what they were always meant to be. Conclusion: as you finish this journey through these lessons, take a moment to breathe deeply. Feel the quiet truth of what you have heard today. That peace is not hidden in the future. That joy is not a reward for perfection. And that your freedom has always been within you, in the present moment, in your acceptance, and in the gentle way you choose to treat your own mind. Life will continue to bring its challenges, its uncertainties, and its storms. But now you carry something different within you. A deeper knowing that you do not have to fight every wave. You can let it rise and fall, while you remain anchored in calm awareness. If these teachings spoke to your heart today, if they reminded you of the quiet strength you carry within, I invite you to walk this path with me. Subscribe to this channel for more Buddhist wisdom and reflections that help you return to yourself, again and again. And before you go, I would love to hear from you in the comments. Which lesson today touched you the most? How will you practice it in your life this week? Remember, true transformation begins in small moments. A breath, A pause, a gentle shift in how you see yourself in the world. May you walk forward with clarity,